For years, flying cars have been the stuff of science fiction.
Flying DeLorean?
And yet, we're often being told they're just around the corner. From Back to the Future to the Jetsons, the idea of having personal flying cars has been a symbol of our futuristic dreams. We imagined a world where we could easily soar above traffic, bypass congestion, and travel effortlessly from point A to point B. But despite technological advances, the reality of flying cars is still a long way off. Why is that? Let's dive into the real reason we don't have flying cars yet.
So stupid.
To begin with, we have to acknowledge that building a flying car is far more complicated than just adding wings to a regular car. Aircraft design is a highly specialized field that requires sophisticated engineering to ensure safety, efficiency, and stability. Unlike cars that we can rely on simple road infrastructure, flying vehicles need to account for entirely different factors, such as lift, thrust, aerodynamics, and fuel consumption. One of the most difficult aspects of creating a flying car is propulsion. To lift a vehicle off the ground, you need an incredible amount of power. Traditional car engines, whether they run on gasoline or electricity, don't provide the necessary thrust to keep a car airborne. Engineers have incorporated more powerful engines, either by using jet propulsion or rotors, which introduces a whole new set of problems such as noise, fuel consumption, and engineering challenges. The technology to make flying vehicles a reality exists on paper, but scaling it to a personal car, something we can drive and fly, is another issue entirely.
What the hell is going on here?
Safety is arguably the most significant concern when it comes to flying cars. While traditional cars can be designed with features like airbags, crumple zones, and anti-collision systems, flying cars face much higher stakes. A crash on the road can be devastating, but a crash in the air can be catastrophic. The complexity of flying at low altitudes and interacting with other air traffic is another factor. Even if flying cars had safety features on par with current airliners, the risk of mid-air collisions and crashes would rise dramatically, especially in areas with high population density or heavy air traffic. We would need to have robust systems in place to monitor air traffic, something that's incredibly difficult to do in urban environments. It's not just about having a flying car that doesn't crash, it's about creating a whole new level of safety to ensure all flying vehicles can safely operate in close proximity to one another. Maybe AI can solve those problems with air traffic controls.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
When we think about infrastructure needed for flying cars, we're looking at a whole new world. Today we have roads, highways, and traffic lights, all built with cars in mind. But for flying cars, we would need entirely new infrastructure. Launch pads, landing zones, and designated airways. These would need to be constructed all over cities, suburban neighborhoods, and even rural areas, which present a massive challenge. Imagine a city where flying cars are constantly taking off and landing. These vehicles would need somewhere to land, and it's not just about building a few takeoff points in a few select locations. Every neighborhood building and even shopping mall would need to be equipped with a landing pad, which would require an enormous investment in time, space, and money. These takeoff and landing zones would need to be highly regulated and carefully monitored to avoid accidents. This level of infrastructure, to say the least, is a monumental undertaking. We're nowhere near having the resources or political will to make it happen. Of course, there's the rich who fly their helicopters everywhere. That's the closest we can get to a flying car. Even if we overcome the technological and infrastructure challenges, we still have the issue of cost. Flying cars would not come cheap. While traditional cars can cost tens of thousands of dollars, flying cars would easily run into the hundreds of thousands, if not millions, due to the advanced technology required. Not only are the vehicles themselves expensive to build, but the maintenance costs would also be much higher than what we're used to with regular cars. Imagine a car that can both drive and fly. It's going to need regular inspections, upgrades, and a level of care that exceeds even the most expensive luxury vehicles on the market today. At this price point, flying cars would be inaccessible to the average person. They would likely start out as a novelty for the ultra-wealthy or used by businesses that need to get their executives from one place to another quickly. The dream of flying cars for the everyday person might remain out of reach for a long time, even if technology becomes available. Alongside infrastructure and safety, there's also the issue of regulation. Today we have a sophisticated system for managing air traffic, but it's all built around larger aircraft that fly at much higher altitudes. If millions of flying cars took to the skies, managing all of the traffic would be an enormous challenge. We would need to develop new air traffic control systems, similar to what we have for airplanes, to ensure that vehicles don't collide with each other in the air. This would require new radar systems, communication technologies, and a completely new framework for how we manage airspace. Right now, much of the airspace above cities is restricted to large commercial aircraft, so we'd have to rework regulations and introduce air traffic controllers dedicated to managing personal flying vehicles. We would also need strict licensing and training for individuals who want to operate these flying cars. As flying cars become more advanced, their ease of use might improve, but the learning curve would still be steep for anyone unfamiliar with piloting aircraft. Another crucial factor is the environmental impact. Flying cars, particularly those that use jet propulsion or powerful rotors, consume far more energy than regular vehicles. Jet fuel is known for being a significant contributor to air pollution, and even electric flying cars would require vast amounts of energy. Moreover, they would need to be manufactured using advanced materials, which could have an environmental cost in terms of mining and production. Whether using electricity or fossil fuels, flying cars would add a substantial load to our current energy grid. If we are to make flying cars a reality, we would need a sustainable energy solution to power them. As much as flying cars represents progress, its environmental impact could hinder its widespread adoption. We need to ensure that the future of personal flying vehicles is as sustainable as possible.
The future?
Unbelievable.
I gotta check this out, Doc.
Despite all these obstacles, the dream of flying cars isn't entirely dead. Companies are still working on creating functional prototypes, and some innovative solutions such as electric vehicle takeoff and landing aircraft could pave the way for air taxis in the future. We may not have flying cars as we imagined them in the 1950s, but we could see a future where flying taxis and personal aircraft become an integral part of urban transportation. While flying cars aren't on the horizon just yet, the advancements made in technology today could lay the groundwork for tomorrow. For now though, it's clear that flying cars still face immense hurdles before they can become a reality. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe and we'll see you in the next one.